and starting with Punch newspaper this morning. Reps probe 447 billion naira COVID-19 spending, summon 83 MDAs. The House of Representatives Ministry, departments, and agencies of the federal government as it begins an investigation into alleged mismanagement of over 447.6 billion naira COVID-19 intervention funds from 2020 to 2022. Checks by the Punch in the budget of the MDA shows that at least 22 of them got nothing less than 447.6 billion as naira as COVID-19 funds in 2022 alone. You can get the details of that news coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. Lagos Deputy Governor denies 2 billion naira budget for fans. Others. The office of the Deputy Governor of Lagos State has faulted the publication on the website of the Lagos State Public Procurement Agency attributing the sum of 2.17 million naira for the provision of items including rechargeable fans, rechargeable lights, and fridge to the Deputy Governor's office. You can get the details of that coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. Abuja denies spending 927 million naira on governor's feedings. The Abuja state government has described a false report that the state governor, Alex Oti, spent over 900 million naira on feeding and welfare from July to September 2023. Media reports have it that Oti spent 927 million naira within 3 months on refreshments, meals, settlements of honorarium, allowances, and welfare package. You can get that complete story coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. Imo Labour Party supporters protest at INEC office. Some members of the Labour Party in Imo State on Monday staged a protest at the State Secretariat of Office of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Owerri, the state capital, over the alleged delay in the release of the certificate true copy of the results of the just concluded governorship election in the state. The Labour Party chairman in the state, Calixtus Iyegiawa, who led the enraged member of the opposition, accused INEC of trying to frustrate his party from challenging the result of the November polls. Get the details of this news coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. PDP condemns Plateau governor sacking, demands CJN probe. The People's Democratic Party urged the Chief Judge of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariweola, to set up a judiciary panel of inquiry to probe the alleged All Progressive Congress influence in the Court of Appeal judgment that sacked the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Niftwang. You can get the details of that news coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. Senate probes expulsion of protesting Abuja students. The Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions has asked two students, Krypton Igwe and Olamilekan Oladeru, who were expelled by the University of Abuja in July over an alleged plan to protest against the proposed fees hike to appear before it on Tuesday. The students had petitioned the Senate asking the Red Chamber to intervene and prevail on the university authorities to reinstate them so as not to suffer for an offense they did not commit. Get the details of this news coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. Minister vows to complete Port Harcourt Maiduguri rail project. The Minister of Transportation, Said Al-Khali, has vowed to ensure the completion of full operation of the Port Harcourt Maiduguri rail network. The minister explained that upon completion of the rail line, Nigerians will enjoy good trade, access markets and business places easily and also boast agricultural production and movements of farm goods. You can get the details of that coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. Shetima constitutes multi-sectoral human capital development committee. The The Vice President Kashim Shettima on Monday approved the constitution of a multi-sectoral committee to drive the federal government's human capital development program. The multi-sectoral team consists of federal and state governments, donors and partners who are expected to convene every 2 weeks to review the progress of work in addressing the objective of HCD programs. You can get the details of this news coming to you from Punch newspaper this morning. Moving away from Punch newspaper this morning, and we are getting straight to the Nation newspaper this morning. President Tinubu to Siemens, speed up investments in power, rail. The prospects of German investment in Nigeria's power and rail sector brightened yesterday after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu met with the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. It was the second meeting between the two leaders in 1 month, both of which focused on German investments in Nigeria. Get the details of that news coming to you from The Nation this morning. Presidency tackles Atiku over claimed on court verdicts. The presidency yesterday rejected the allegation by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its former presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was Muslim the opposition for voicing in a one-party state in Nigeria. It accused PDP and Atiku of raising a false alarm and embarking on campaign of calumny following their defeat at the last general election. Get the details of that news coming to you from the Nation newspaper this morning. Subsidy removal takes monthly Federation account inflow to 1 trillion naira. Monthly revenue inflow into the Federal Account Allocation Committee (FAC) fund has risen from 650 billion naira to 1 trillion naira monthly since the withdrawal of the subsidy on petrol. Minister of Finance and coordinating minister of the economic Wale Edun has said. Subsidy on petrol was declared gone by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his inauguration speech on May 29. Get the details of that news coming to you from the Nation newspaper this morning. Impeachment. Appeal Court rejects Ondo Assembly's request on Deputy Governor. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has dismissed the application by Ondo State House of Assembly and its Speaker for an order extending the hearing of its appeal, seeking to overturn the order by the Federal High Court in Abuja, halting the planned impeachment of Deputy Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa. You can get the complete story from the Nation newspaper this morning. Osun Assembly, CJ tangle over allegations of misconduct. Osun State House of Assembly and the Council for the Chief Judge CJ Justice Oyebola Ojo, Oladipupo Olasope SAN have tangled over allegation of corruption leveled against the embattled CJ and the purported suspension. The Speaker, Olawale Egbedun, yesterday, through his press secretary, Olamide Tiamiyu, said the House was exposing corruption as stipulated in the Section 128 of the 1999 Constitution. You can get the details of that news coming to you from the Nation newspaper this morning. And on the business desk of the Nation newspaper, Lagos upgrades revenue collection for hospitality sector. The Lagos State Internal Revenue Services has deployed an upgraded process for the collection of hotel occupancy and restaurants consumption tax in Lagos State. Get the details of that news coming to you from the Nation this morning. on to Daily Trust this morning. Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Western democracy not working for Africa, Obasanjo. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said that Western liberal democracy has not been an effective system of government in Africa because it was forced on the continent. He advocated what he called Afro-democracy in place of Western liberal democracy. Get the details of what the former president is saying from Daily Trust this morning. I don't have problems with INEC, but its processes. SDP presidential candidate. The chieftain and presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party (SDP) in the last general election, Prince Adewale Adebayo, has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) of poor conduct during the off-cycle election in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa State. Get the details of that news coming to you from Daily Trust this morning. Fresh crisis hits Edo PDP as leaders call for chairman's resignation. A fresh crisis has hit the Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as its leader in the state have asked the state chairman, Dr. Tony Azegbemi, to resign over an alleged viral video where he was seen pitching his tent with calls for Edo Central candidacy for the party's gubernatorial ticket for the 2024 election. You can get the details of that news coming to you from Daily Trust this morning. Plot to remove me targeted at Kwankwaso's vision, Kano governor. Kano State Governor Abba Kabiru Yusuf has said all his political travails, which include his losses in both the Election Petition Tribunal and most recently at the Court of Appeal, are targeted attack against his political godfather Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Get the details of that news coming to you from Daily Trust this morning. Appeal Court upholds Alia's election as Benue's governor. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja on Monday affirmed Reverend Father Aizin Alia as the All Progressive Congress APC as the validly elected governor of Benue State. You can get the details of that news coming to you from Daily Trust this morning. And it's time for us to bring in our in-house analyst and public affairs commentator, a seasoned journalist and media consultant, Mr. Salman Salami. Good morning. You are welcome to Newspaper Review this morning.
Very good morning to you, our presenter and the Citizen FM super listeners and super citizens.
Let's start this morning with the denial coming from left and right. I'm talking about the deputy governor who denied a report against him, and also the Abia state governor who also denied the spending that was alleged against him. What is your position on this?
Well, it is unfortunate that this type of story is coming out on the pages of newspaper again against public office holders. The first one was in respect of the allegation in Lagos State, and the other one Abia State. Well, that is the beauty of free press and democracy, and this is what we are still saying that we should not take for granted. Free press in the sense that the media, the journalists and the press have been able to report this because there is freedom of information. And don't let us take this thing for granted. For whatever it is worth, we are able to enjoy this freedom because there is democracy. Don't let us toy with this democracy. And I will plead with our public office holders that they should know that public office is public trust. They should not abuse it. And I will still plead again with our colleagues, the fellow journalists, that they should be very, very vigorous and factual in their reportage. Hold the government accountable to the people. We are the ears and the eyes of the common man. Please report responsibly.
And let's quickly take Appeal Court upholds Alia's election as the Benue State governor. What is your take on that?
Well, that is the judgment of the court, and all parties involved should abide by the pronouncement from the court. Any party that is displeased still has the opportunity of appealing or approaching the Supreme Court.
Okay, now let's quickly check out what the governor of Kano State is saying as regards to his removal or about his removal is targeted at Kwankwaso's vision. Do you agree with him?
Well, I don't know his reasons for saying so, but I will look at it purely as the outcome of an election, and the court did not leave anybody in doubt as to why he was sacked. The court, in its wisdom, said that there were some votes or ballot papers that were not signed and stamped. There has been a lot of controversy over that decision. Femi Falana came out smoking yesterday that the 165,000 plus votes that were not signed and stamped must be as a result of the negligence of INEC. And his own poster was, why should the court punish the 165 voters for the dereliction of duty, as it were, of INEC? Well, the governor has approached the Supreme Court, and let us wait for the outcome.
Sir, if I may draw your attention to this, it's a public opinion anyway. Whenever a court of competent jurisdiction pronounce a statement on particular matter before them, some of our lawyers comes to air and start analyzing it and trying to see other view. Which of them should Nigeria rely on? Is it an opinion of one learned with due respect, or the court of justice?
Well, the pronouncements coming from the court, competent court of law, is the one that I would prefer, because even if you are a senior advocate of Nigeria, whatever you say is an opinion, but whatever comes from the temple of justice is the judgment or the ruling, as it were. And what is more important and what is effective and what can be acted upon is the judgment from the competent court of jurisdiction.
Okay, away from that, let's quickly move to Edo. The PDP leaders are calling for the chairman's resignation. What is your take on this?
That is playing politics, and politicians will always play politics. And I don't have the facts, but they were saying that he wants the next governor to come from soon. Well, it is all politics, and let us still wait and see how it plays out.
So what will you have to say about the Imo Labour supporter protest at the INEC office?
Well, provided the protest is peaceful, they have the right to protest, and they are exercising their right.
It's time for us to bring in our super listeners and to join us on this platform by making their comments count. And you can reach us on 0903 2229 797 0818 2222 205 0818 2222 206. You can join us by calling us, and make sure you reduce the level of the volume of your radio set or move away from them while you are calling. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Citizen Olushola is calling from Central here.
Okay, you are welcome, Citizen Olushola.
Okay, to me, I just want to say something on the Kanu something. I think, to me, that's what I think. I don't think as the governor has said, I don't know, maybe even the Kwankwaso himself is still with this governor. Because there's one time they say they want to remove Kwankwaso from the party itself. That is not a chairman or it's not a stakeholder in the party again. That's what I thought on that issue. And on protest of the Imo Labour Party on this, I think there is court. They can go to court instead of disturbing the INEC. If the court allow them to go to INEC and check this thing, I think it's better than to be for loudly in the INEC office.
Okay.
If election is rigged in Nigeria, to me, I don't think it's INEC and INEC alone. It's the people, politicians, the masses, that even do that thing. They engage the stakeholders, but it's not even the stakeholder that even champion it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Citizen Olushola. Thank you for your contribution. Mr. Salami, what do you have to say with what Mr. Olushola said?
Well, let us respect his opinion and look at the big stories in the newspapers. Western democracy not working for Africa. What retired General Olusegun Obasanjo and, of course, President Olusegun Obasanjo said about democracy not working in Africa. Well, it is morning yet on Creation Day. I am surprised that former President Olusegun Obasanjo has just woken up to now say that democracy is not working in Africa, and why it's not working. That we should have Afro democracy instead of Western liberal democracy.
Please, Mr. Salami, I have to hold you on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is the voice of Kennedy calling from Cairo.
Super listener Kennedy. Oh yeah, can we have your contribution, please?
Thank you very much. I want to say this, but turning Obasanjo's statement of democracy as regarding West Africa, he should go and sleep. He should go and rest. Because who brought the issue of third term in Nigeria? Was it not Obasanjo? He never found his way in. If he had found his way in, by now he would still remain in power. So he should go and sleep and then rest and then stop telling us things that when he was in power he didn't do and expect others to do. Now, coming to the judgment of Plateau State, governorship, I want to talk about that. Yesterday, I called and then I spoke about it, and I heard a lot of people saying certain things, but I want to ask if the issue of PDP, becoming an issue of all political parties, because if you are telling us about Caleb, that there was issues about his primaries, it was within the party. Is it the party that swung him or another party? The same thing happened to our vice president, with all due respect. He was contesting for senator. The same time, he came in and then became the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What was the judgment? It was an internal party issue. So what are they telling us as regarding this? I wait to hear more explanation. Thank you. God bless every positive thinking Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Salami, you have the floor.
Well, Mr. Kennedy, I think that the courts, as constituted, they are courts of law. And they adjudicate based on the law and the evidence placed before the court. And like we keep on saying, that politicians will remain politicians. When the judgment favors a political party, it is well and good. It is when it goes the other way that they begin to manufacture reasons, innuendos, and blackmail, or to a large extent to even intimidate the cause, as it were. Let us remember that in 2019, APC won all the elected positions or offices in Zamfara State. The court thought otherwise, and the PDP became the party in power in Zamfara State. PDP saw it as a very welcome development. It was good, it was fine, the judiciary was working. In Bayelsa State, on the eve of the swearing in of David Lyon, the APC gubernatorial governor elect, on the eve, the court sacked him because of the iniquity of his deputy governor. Diri was sworn in instead the following day. To PDP, it was fine, it was good, the judiciary was working. In Rivers State, the court, in its wisdom, pronounced judgment that APC should not field candidates. So PDP had no APC rather had no candidate in all the elections conducted in Rivers State. To PDP, it was free, it was fair, it was good, and the judiciary was working. I have deliberately said all this. I have gone this far to show that politicians have not imbibed the spirit of sportsmanship. They have not learned anything from that age-long statement of late Wasiri Ibrahim, that politics should be politics. They should not practice politics without bitterness. Don't practice politics with bitterness. It should be politics without bitterness. And politics to Nigerian politicians is a do or die thing. And that is wrong. That should not be so. You want to serve the people. Allow the people to give you the nod, to agree that yes, come and serve us.
Come and be our leader.
Come and serve. Don't force yourself on the people. That's all I will say on that. We'll go back to the Obasanjo's issue of democracy not serving
African,
not working in Africa. Well, Western democracy as it is may not, with all sense of responsibility, work the way it is working in the Western world. It may not work like that in Africa. And I will provide some reasons. You see, there are some assumptions about democracy. One, that citizens are literate, they are reasonable, they are logical. That two, you have gratified certain basic needs. In which case, I'm saying there is no abject poverty in such a manner that a politician will come to you and all he will ask you to do is to vote for him because he has brought a tin of gari or a nylon bag of rice. It is demeaning. It can never happen in the Western world. In fact, you must be mad, or they will consider you as mad. It is issue driven in that part of the world. You will rather go to whoever the electorate with your campaign materials. You will try to convince him based on what you intend to do.
Your political manifesto.
Your manifesto. What you intend to do if you are voted to power. Not that you will go with a sack of banana or this or that and insult our people. There is the level of poverty there is not as what we have here. Secondly, the mindset of our people here. Our people see public office as an opportunity for personal aggrandizement. That should not be. That is not good. That is not right. That is not proper. Politics is just an avenue for rendering selfless service to the people. And I still want to believe that politicians should approach politics from that point of view, that it is a veritable vehicle for service, selfless service to mankind.
I want to ask again that the knowledge of this that the former president is talking about, has it just come to him? Now he has the opportunity of being in the power.
He had, yes.
Yes, he had the opportunity of being in power for 2 terms.
Well, that was why I said this is money yet on Creation Day. That was what I meant by saying that. Okay. And it is unfortunate that our leaders most times fail to do the right thing while they were in power. But then it's never too late. I still very much believe that it is true. There is the need to adapt democracy to suit the peculiarities of our people. Democracy as is practiced in the Western world may not try and produce the kind of result it is producing in those climes. That is the much I will say on that.
Okay, let's quickly take what is the statement of Minister of Finance. That is saying subsidy removal, monthly federation allocation as inflow into 1 trillion naira now. Should Nigeria consider this as a good news or otherwise?
It is good news and it is bad news. It depends on to what use is the money deployed. Yes, there is more money for the federal government, the state and the local government to spend. But the question is this: how are they going to spend the money? The additional revenue that will accrue as a result of the removal of the fuel subsidy. Let us not forget that there is hardship in the land. There is serious poverty and hardship in the land. And the government should be thinking on how to ameliorate or reduce the level of poverty in the land. The money that is now generated, that is coming in trillions as a result of the removal of the petroleum subsidy, should be channeled into education, security, health, road infrastructure, and all those things that will make life more meaningful.
Creating an enabling environment
for our people. That is what I think should be done with the revenue that is accruing to the covers of the federal government.
Okay, let's quickly go to what presidency is saying against Atiku over the verdicts that came recently. What is your take on them?
What is the verdict?
Presidency tackle article on the claim on court verdicts. That's what the Nation reported.
Well, like we have said that the idea of trying to malign the courts because of dashed hope should not be accepted. And if I may advise that the former vice president Atiku Abubakar should know that power comes from God. He has contested for the presidency of this country on more than 5 or 6 occasions. Well, it is right. It is his fundamental right to contest, even to still recontest in 2027 when he will be well over 80, if he so wishes. But then you must learn to respect the judgments coming from the court, and you should not think that except you, the country should be brought down, or that the house should collapse. No, that is not the way of statesmen. Statesmen, they think about the people and the people are not self.
Okay. Appeal Court rejects Ondo Assembly's request on Deputy Governor impeachment. What's your take on that?
Well, this issue of the Deputy Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has been on for a long time, and thank God that the court has come out strongly against impunity and against rule of thumb as against the rule of law. In whatever we do, we should allow the rule of law to prevail, just as the court has come very, very hard on the decision or the order of the Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, suspending the CJ.
Yes.
That is not the way to go. Impunity should not be allowed to rear its ugly head. It should be the rule of law and not the rule of thumb. We should learn to do things lawfully, legally, and follow due process. It is when we begin to follow due process and to not to take laws into our hand and to respect the rule of law and the lay down procedure in doing things, that is when and not until then that we can begin to enjoy the bountiful dividends of democracy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salami, this morning. And that is much we can take on newspaper reform review this morning. Till we come your way tomorrow, it will be another time. Thank you, all our super listeners. My name is Okikiola Kosim. Good morning.